highlight artists and creatives. So I am going to have a conversation with three amazing people today. So my first guest is E.T. Got Soul. Welcome.
Pleasure to be here.
All right, so thank you, live audience, thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask this to all my guests. So I want to start off like, how did you get the name E.T. and how did you know that you got soul?
Two funny stories. So when I was younger, some of the people in the room are probably too young to even remember this, but Shaquille O'Neal used to be a rapper. And he had a song way back in the day. I don't remember the exact lyric, but it was something like, I rhyme in basketball and people call me E.T. because I'm extra tall and something else. And I was always taller than every one of my friends. So when I was very young, my friends started calling me E.T. And it sort of stuck with me. So that became who I was. And then I sort of said, well, my meaning for it is entertainment tonight because I'm an entertainer. Okay. And then I could tell another story, but it's probably not good to tell on here. But the Got Soul thing, that's another funny story. So I don't know if you remember several years ago, Facebook sort of made people start putting their real name on their profiles.
Yes.
And I sort of had this as like a music separate profile. And so I had to come up with something to be my name. And I'd always been told like, oh man, you got soul. So I was like, well, E.T. got soul. And so I put that on there, and then they rejected it and said I needed to show something that said that was my actual name. So I kind of photoshopped like a check in a library card or something that said E.T. got soul, and so that's sort of been my handle ever since then. Now it's my Instagram, YouTube, everywhere you have to be. It's E.T. got soul, but I think it fits, and it helps me in search engines because if you go to search E.T., most likely you're going to find the movie, right. And it might take a while before you get to me. But if you search E.T. Got Soul, you're gonna find me directly.
Makes perfect sense. And what all do you do?
I do a little bit of everything. My music journey started as a b-boy when I was very young. My cousin and I, we were part of a dance group called Interfusion. And you've seen me dance back in the day. We've known each other a long time. And so we used to break dance, and we used to go around the country and compete in talent competitions. And I'm really dating myself tonight, but there used to be a show called Star Search, which was like pre-American Idol and all the other shows that are out there now. And, we tried to get on shows like that. And eventually that sort of evolved to, well, we got these dance routines. We should start making our own music and writing our own songs. And so we were probably 11, 12 at the time, and we just started writing rhymes. And, back we'd have a boombox here and a boombox here, and that's how we'd record ourselves. You play the tape over here, you record it over here. And then we got a karaoke machine and thought we were really doing something, because back in those days, you had to go to the studio.
Right.
It wasn't like it is now. And so then we started buying pieces of equipment. We bought a drum machine, bought a keyboard, bought a 4-track machine, started learning how to make beats. And as we wanted to just sort of have this whole entertainment package that we can come and put on a show and have all these different facets of hip-hop going on throughout the show. And, that's sort of how I got into emceeing and doing what I do. And since then, I've toured the country. I've worked with some of the biggest and best names out there. I've put out tons of music, sold lots of records. I'm heavily involved with the hip hop scene here in Nashville. I've been hosting the longest running local music playing radio program in Nashville. Me and the homie Al D.
Congratulations.
So we're doing, we put on events. And I think at this point in my career now, it's more about creating that scene for the next generation of artists and creating opportunities and maybe passing some of the wisdom that I've learned over the years, to this next generation, because I didn't have that. And I feel like if I did, I would have been much further along than what I was, and felt like I missed a lot of opportunities because I didn't have the education, I didn't have the resources and all the things available, which is what's great about UMC and other sort of communities like that is those resources are out there now.
Right.
And I wish I could go back and have that and take advantage of those resources. So, I'm still making music. I'm working on an album. I'm still touring. I'm still doing events. So yeah, just a little bit of everything.
Okay, so we do go way back, so I know some of your history, but so you are not from Nashville. Can you tell us, like, as far as the hip hop scene, where you from, but what is the major difference between where you're from versus Nashville?
Sure. So I'm from Louisville originally, or Louisville is how you pronounce it if you're from there. And we really built the scene there. There was us and a handful of other crews that sort of created this hip hop scene. Because you think about it, when we were younger, hip hop wasn't that old. It was still relatively new, and so we kind of developed these scenes and grew them. And then I felt like at some point I had kind of reached my ceiling in Kentucky and felt like I've done all I can do there. And I briefly moved to New York and stayed up there for a while and got to connect with one of my friends to this day, a guy named Ed Robinson, who used to drum with the Wailers and Bob Marley. And then I kind of decided, where's my next move going to be? And, Music City. So I came to Nashville and really just took the blueprint that I did in Louisville and brought it here and built a scene here and was doing shows. So as far as the difference in the two, I will say, and you don't hear a lot there's sort of some negative talk right now about the scene in Nashville and people not supporting each other. And I don't find that in the hip hop community. I've always felt like it is a very supportive community here in Nashville. And there was some of that in Louisville, but you had a lot of selfishness going on as well. So that was one different. But as far as the talent and things like that, there's talented people everywhere you go. And I very rarely listen to, new music or mainstream music because I have so many friends that are so much more talented than things you hear out there. So I'm kind of diving into local music and things like that all the time, looking for new things that I can play on the radio. And then, of course, the little bit of time I spent in New York, obviously the birth of hip hop music and being able to sort of just be in that environment and meet some of the people that I met. One day I'm in the studio up there and Snoop just walks through the door, just completely random. And I would just hang out for situations like that would happen. So I've been very lucky, and to be able to still continue to do what I love to do is really great.
That's dope. I'm gonna piggyback how you said as far as educating the younger people. Like, what is something that you could share with them now, something that you didn't have, or something that you learned along the way?
That's a good question. Be yourself, really. I think a lot of people are copycats, and a lot of people will sort of see, oh, this is the hot thing now, I need to make a record like that, or they blew up, I need to do what they're doing. And to me, you sort of lose some of what made you that artist that you are. So don't be afraid to be yourself. Music is therapy for a lot of us.
Absolutely.
It's okay to smile. It's okay to, laugh. And yeah. I've been in scenes before where it's very tense and people kind of feel like they just got to have that guard up all the time. So I would say build your network. Don't be afraid to work with other people. Anytime I've worked with someone else, it elevates whatever I'm doing. Whether I'm writing with someone, whether we're filming, whatever it is, be open to that. Be open to work with other people. Be open to co-write with people. Be open to be in a room with other creatives and make things happen. And I think when you do that, you're gonna build your network, but you're also just gonna build your abilities and your skill set.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's get into this billboard.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, right?
That's pretty dope.
I'm not from Nashville originally, like we talked about, and people always tell me like that's the billboard you want to be on, right there on Broadway at the Split. So I'm signed to a label now, MC1 Nashville. Shout out to MC1. I've got distribution through Sony and the Orchard, and so the label took care of that for me.
Nice.
And oddly enough, it was right in the middle of CMA week. And the past 2 years, I've been one of the only hip hop artists that are playing CMA Fest down in all of it. So the label put that up. It's promoting my new song, You're a Star. If you haven't checked that out yet, E.T., You're a Star. The views are going up. I appreciate that. And so that's how the billboard happened. And I'm working on another single that the label will be pushing, and we'll have another billboard up for that one too.
Okay. Where do you see Nashville going? You mentioned about the CMA. So as far as the country scene and how people view Nashville outside of country, what do you think, like the direction that's going in?
It's funny. We were just having a conversation off camera about that, about how it's not just country music city anymore. You really can find everything you need and anything you'd want here. And I think you're starting to see that now. I think you can, at any night of the week, you can find so many different things going on. So I think you're going to continue to see that influx of creatives coming here from all over the country with all types of different genres. And I'm for it. Like, I love the diversity. I love to be able to go out and experience new things and tap in with some of these other artists of these other genres and see what sort of concoction we can put together, you know. So I believe it's going to continue to grow. You're going to continue to have a lot of people moving here, and I think that you're going to see some major players in other genres bring the business of music here, and not just have sort of those country music, labels that you see now.
Yeah, I see a lot of that happening. I actually had the pleasure of performing with Timothy Miles. He's a country artist. He had me on one of his sets, and I was able to do poetry. So that was a different experience. So I agree with you 110%. And for all of you, we're kind of showing our age, but back in the day, like 2009, 2010, was the time to be in Nashville. And I feel like that is the direction that we're leading back into.
I hope so.
It
feels like it.
Yeah.
It does. And you have a lot of the main characters from back then that are sort of now doing it. I just want to keep it alive, you know. Yeah. I want to keep the classic hip hop that I've known to love and I've done over the years. I just want to keep it alive and pass it on to the next generation.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so as we kind of wrap this up, can you tell everyone how they can find you?
E.T. Got Soul, GOTSOUL. You can go to the website, etgotsoul.com. That's sort of the hub. All the platforms, the Instagrams, the Facebooks, everywhere you need to be. One thing I don't have is TikTok. I'm slow. I'm sort of behind the game with that. But E.T. Got Soul is where you can check me out. And make sure you check out the new video, You're a Star, on YouTube, and leave a like and a comment.
All right. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
Good to catch up with you.
Thank you, guys.
All righty. And I am so sorry. I forgot to introduce myself. I am Jazzy the Uncontrolled Goddess, poet, mindset coach, creative, and host. All right, and our next guest is going to be Brittany Beech from Frozen Moments. Can you join me, please? Yeah, the mic don't love me. Okay, perfect, thank you. Okay, showing off some skills. All right, so welcome.
Welcome. How y'all doing tonight?
First question again. I know your name, but how did you come up with the name of your company, Frozen Moments?
So Frozen Moments was originally somebody like I'm gonna say my dad. He had always said that's dope. Something like that is dope. Like that's cold. That's what it was. That's cold about my photos. And I said, I froze that one, and it kind of just stuck. And I deemed that photo that he was like, that's cold, a frozen moment, and like from that moment on, like it was like, that's catchy.
That is beautiful, because when I hear frozen moment, of course, it's like a still picture, and that's a moment that's frozen in time that's creating memories.
Yeah.
That's dope. So what is your reason behind photography?
Personally, I really enjoy just capturing moments that nobody really see, like paused. You know what I'm saying? Like just in time, like forever. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you have a favorite, like, artist, nature, family? Like, do you have a specific type of photography?
My favorite artist is Picasso. But I don't really have a specific like type. I guess I would say the one I enjoy the most would be candid. Like just candid photos, candid photography.
Yeah.
Yeah, just capturing those moments where somebody wasn't looking and they was looking at the person that they love, like they really love them, or, you know, like that when the baby smiles, you know,
Yeah.
type stuff, and nobody was looking.
Do you have a favorite, like, photo that you've taken?
A favorite photo that I've taken?
Yeah.
I don't. No, they're all my favorites.
All your favorites. Good
I'm a
answer.
photo hoarder.
So what's your oldest photo? Like, how far back are we talking?
I started taking photos. Really early in life with like a Polaroid camera. Actually, I do got a favorite photo. It would be just about, maybe about, I'm guessing here, 14 years ago. And I took this picture of my grandmama, and now it's all over Facebook, and everybody's like, "Who has that photo?" You know, like in my family, and my mom got it in her box.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I feel like in life, that's something, photography is so important because you do capture moments, and, you know, especially when people, our loved ones, transition on, we still have something, you know, in a sense to kind of keep them alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you from Nashville?
I am. Like, I've been here most of my life, so yeah, I'm a Nashvilleian.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've seen the city progress into what it is now.
Yeah, downtown went crazy
It did
over
go
the years.
crazy.
Yeah. And not only that, like just like gentrification, like areas where nobody wanted to be, everybody wants to be now. Yeah.
Yeah. So have you found some like dope spots to do photography in with this new Nashville, or what, like?
Yeah, I have. I like the old Nashville too.
Yeah, I miss the old Nashville.
I mean, I'm not biased. I feel like everywhere I am, like it's a good time to take a photo. Like somewhere in the room right now, it's a photo worthy moment. It's just waiting for me to pull my camera out.
Yeah. And do you feel like photos tell a story?
For sure. Frozen moments, baby. Like, what's a moment but a story? You know?
Yeah. Now, I've had the pleasure to work with you on more than one occasion. So, and you work with a lot of artists. That's why I was wondering, like, I'm just trying to, you know, pinpoint, like, the direction of your photography. Do you enjoy one over the other?
Do I enjoy one? What?
Yeah, like the candid. I know you said the candidates, but, you know, artists, sometimes we show up in different lights.
Oh, I don't. Like, I'm like a go with the flow type of person. If it's a moment and I got my camera, I'm gonna snap it. I know that sounds like super vague or whatever. I'm not trying to be like elusive or anything. But that's just how I feel. Like, it could be the smallest thing. If I am saying what direction I'm going, it's gonna be up. I know that sounds super vague too, but I'm an artist and I create what I want to create, you know?
Yeah, as you should.
Yeah,
as
straight
we all
up.
should, as creatives. So I want to talk a little bit about, if I can speak on it, because I've worked on a project with you that involved some filming as well. Are you able to share a little bit about those type of projects?
Yeah. Yes, I can. I'm gonna start with the most recent. Right now, we're actually doing like a silent library. To all my old people, my young old people, like my 2000 babies and stuff like that. Y'all should know what silent library is, and we doing like a Frozen Moments edition. So yeah, that's that. I'm doing all types of films and stuff like that with Myra and Poet. Just trying to open the new door for like different type of creative paths to to make way, for like new creations. Because like I feel like I know we know Myra, but Myra's a really extremely good poet who I met like a year ago, just about, and I feel like she really like blew my mind with the fact that she had put a spoken word piece to a beat. I don't even know what to call it.
Yeah.
I don't know what to call it yet. But we made a video to that, and it's pretty dope. And I hate that I just gave everybody else that knowledge. I do, because it's like that's untouched ground.
You know what? That's interesting that you say that, because it's not. I only perform with music. I have songs out with tracks. Like, I don't do acapella.
Period.
Yeah. So but I'm older, so maybe it's new into this type of generation.
Well, I'm not talking about the fact that she did that. I'm talking about the video as well.
Gotcha.
Like all of it,
Gotcha.
all of it mashed together. It's like a music video for a poem. You know what I'm saying?
And the concept was I'm actually in the
Yeah.
I got a little
Yeah.
acting hat on in the video.
Yeah, she did. She did her thing or whatever.
No,
I wish we could show a clip.
It was
That'd
a
be
dope concept. That would be dope if we could show a clip. Is there an expected release date on that?
It's not. Right now we're in the process of making sure that we got all the copyrights and stuff like that in order.
Okay.
Making sure that everybody gets their credit and stuff like that.
Okay. And is that something you want to do more of as far as like music videos?
Yeah, I do. I do. I didn't really know that I enjoyed it as much until I started editing it. So yeah.
Nice. Okay. To the people, to the artists. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I know I'm really aloof. I am. I know. I can't help it.
What else do you have going on?
So right now, me and some of my partners are actually coming up with this concept called digital brain rot. It's basically surrounded around the concept of short mental spans. I forgot what you call it. Short.
Like ADD?
Short mindset. Yeah.
Okay.
ADHD and stuff like that.
Okay.
And it's really just gonna be it's gonna be a lot of short film content that's surrounded around big issues like gun violence and like cancer awareness and like just like autism, like stuff like that. Just
Right.
like how insensitive people can be about certain things like that, and how we can all grow together if we just understand it a little better.
So do you have personal experience with those things that you just named, as far as you or someone that's close to you? Or like
Yeah.
what prompted your passion for that?
Yeah, so I'm borderline autistic. And I had a lot of mental health issues and stuff like that growing up, that meditation and like eating healthy and stuff like that helped me like fix a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? So so yeah, I just want to, spread my knowledge and, help other people like with that as well.
I think that's beautiful. That's
Period.
beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for your transparency on that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So do you actually have a location?
I do. It's in Hardin Place. It's right off the exit, 56, and it's 221 Largo Drive.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. It's my studio. Right now we're calling it the Creators Lounge.
Yes.
So to all my creators out there, if you need a spot to go, hit me up on Facebook. You can find me at frozenmoments_CO.
Okay. And as we close out, is there anything else that you would like to share?
Yes. I don't know if anybody believe in God or anything like that, so I'm gonna keep this super short. But I got a little imposter syndrome going on.
Okay.
So that's one of the reasons I'm gonna say this. But it's not God, it's me.
That's dope. I'm on board with that. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Thank
All
you.
right. Again, this is Brittany Beech from Frozen Moments. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
No, thank you. That's my sister. All right. So we have next, SADGURL is going to be joining us. Can you join me on the couch, please? Okay, come on, outfit. All right. So I recently met SADGURL, and I'm going to let her explain it. She's a dope artist, but the name caught me. So, again, first question, can you let us know how you came about the name SADGURL?
Yes, and I think it's a perfect transition from what Brittany was talking about. I am autistic, and I do also have ADHD, and so I did spend my whole life undiagnosed. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but most women of color do not get diagnosed until their mid to late 30s. And so going through intense mental health struggles most of my life, and being sad, and realizing that, you know, I didn't have to hide those things because I was hiding them, right? Trying to pretend I was okay. And being SADGURL is really embodying those things, but not in a way that says, you know, I'm defeated, I'm sad. It's more of a way to say, these are my scars, these are the things that I've struggled with, and still I'm allowed to take up space. Still I'm allowed to rise above.
Right. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah, because I was like, okay, she's not sad. I've been around her enough. I've seen her perform. I've listened to her music. So thank you for elaborating on that. So your style of music is, to me personally, it is unique. How would you describe it?
I would say I started off as a poet. So I have been writing since the age of 7. I write short stories, poems, and it wasn't until maybe 2 or 3 years ago that I wrote this one specific poem called Crown. And I had been hearing it in my head, like it had a beat. And it kept saying to me, like, you're a rapper. Like the song, like, I know it sounds crazy, but it was like in my head, I was like, you're a rapper. And it was so hard to say that out loud. And so I finally was like, you know what, like, the stakes are low. Like, let me just rap this song over a Sade beat. So I went to an open mic called Mood, and I just rapped the song. And yeah, I realized that I was a rapper. But in terms of my style, I would say it's heavily influenced by West African, like, ancestral music, honestly, because there's a lot of chanting, there's a lot of whispering. So there's a lot of that, but also, like, very, I would say kind of like hip hop, obviously hip hop, right? Like, I was very influenced by hip hop as a kid, as a way to kind of like say the things that I couldn't say out loud, but I would like listen to a song and I would feel those feelings so strongly. And so music has been a way for me to like take out those like really heavy feelings that I may be carrying and just kind of like put them on something. And whether it's a whisper that is repeating over and over in my head, like with my song, I Was Too Bold, that whisper was repeating over and over in my head. because I was in pain, I was hurting, right? And so just saying it out loud. And that's how a lot of my music comes together. I just say the things out loud.
Say the things out loud. I love that. Say the things out loud. So do you have one of your songs that actually has impacted you personally the most as far as on your healing journey?
Yeah, I would say Crown, because it's funny, like that was my first rap, but it also is indicative of the time I was in, which led me to become SADGURL, right? Like realizing I dropped my crown, realizing all this time I was letting people treat me less than, and I really internalized like, hey, like you need to pick up your crown. You need to express yourself. You need to be free. And so I think that song set me free.
That's beautiful. Now, you mentioned about the music, ancestral. So where are you from? I'll just ask you that.
Yeah, I was born in Côte d'Ivoire, which is West Africa, and my dad is Ghanaian, so I'm half Ghanaian and half Ivorian.
Nice. That's beautiful. And so how long have you been here in the United States?
I moved to the United States when I was about 7 years old, when there was a civil war in my country.
Okay.
So that actually also really informs who I am as an artist. I'm very outspoken in terms of global issues, because I understand that whatever's happening overseas, I'm not so far removed from that, right? Like, I just so happened to be able to afford a plane to come to the empire and have a different experience. But, you know, by just one hair, I could have been, you know, bombed.
Right.
So.
That's deep. That's deep. So I know in that culture it is very heavily rich in the music. So do you have other family members? Like, are you the only artist in your family? Like, what's that dynamic?
I am the only artist in my family, and it's been weird. I'm not gonna. It's been weird. They're like, "What?" Like, my mom is like, "What are you? How are you even coming up with this?" Like, she's shook. My sister just stares at me and she's like, "Wow!" Like, so they definitely make me feel like a little star. So it's nice, but it's definitely not new to them. I've always been on the stage. I've been an actress.
Okay.
I did poetry all of my life, so I've always been very prone to the arts.
Right. I love that. And so, just because I know a little bit about it, so cooking is an art form as well, would you say?
Yes.
So why do you enjoy cooking so much?
Well, I guess now that you say cooking is an art form, then I would say my family is very artistic, because my mom, actually, I lied. My mom was like a hairdresser. She like dressed people. That was like her thing when we were back home. So I guess that influenced like my fashion sense. Like, I've always been very unique in that sense, because I get that from my mom. My sister owns a restaurant in New York City, so she's a chef. All of my family cooks. We enjoy, like, food is how we show love. Like, every family gathering, anytime you have guests, like, we just like to make people feel at home.
Beautiful. Yeah, food is my love language, one of them. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. So what do you have going on, like, as far as, are you working on new projects, or what you got going on?
I have a lot going on. I am doing a lot and performing a lot. I do have an album that I am working on that is really telling my story, and really, like, through this bold lens of just exposing the ugly, you know? Like, I feel like my first album was very like, ooh, like a kid at a playground, like playing around with my voice, playing around with different beats. And now I feel like I found my voice, I found my style, and I'm ready to just like dive in. You know? Yeah. So that album called Legendary, but I'm still working on that. But more forward right now, I'm just trying to be conscious of the things that are going on in the world, and also use my platform that I have now to amplify the voices of those who are unheard. And that's really my main thing. I want to build community. I'm doing mutual aid. I've made a commitment to never shop fast fashion. I only buy everything secondhand. So you're going to be seeing me repeat a lot of outfits, and I'm still fab. Okay, so
Absolutely.
that's where I'm at right now, and I feel like that's my calling. I think the more I amplify the voices of those that are unheard, the more I find sad girl. Like that's my role, I think.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So now I'm curious. So we're talking about healing, mental health, both sides, because we do have to have that shadow as well. So do you have any actual, I won't necessarily rituals, but anything that you do that aids in like your daily progression of that?
Oh, absolutely. Oh my goodness. Talking out loud, like affirmations, saying positive things to myself. So I didn't mention before, but I'm a science teacher. So I teach biology, environmental science, chemistry to students 7 through 12. And so I always tell my students, if you learn nothing else from me, learn to love yourself. I always take time to meditate with them. I always tell them that they can achieve anything that they want to, because I really believe that the first step to empowering the world and changing the world is for people to value themselves. So if you value yourself, then you will hold others around you accountable, you'll speak up. You know what I mean? Like we can come together to do more because we value ourselves and we value those around us.
Absolutely. Beautifully stated. Thank you for that. And can you tell everyone where to find you?
Yes, you can find me on all platforms at Sad Girls Rap, which is SADGURLZRAP.
Thank you, Sad Girl. All right, can you hang tight for me? We're going to have Gerard come up and speak to us real quick, and then after that, we are going to have the Q&A, and I'll have everyone else come back up to join me.
Check 1, 2. There we go. There I am. Can we give one more round of applause for all of our Have You Met artists? We matched again, Jazzy. Anyway, I want to come up here. First of all, Sad Girl, thank you for joining us. Of course, thank you to Brittany. Thank you to E.T. for joining us. We've got Kelsey and Caleb back there running the stream. We've got some folks in the audience as well. Thanks, everyone, for being here, both in person and on the stream. Now, the reason I want to come up here, the reason I want you to stay up here is because there's something else very special coming up, isn't there?
Yes.
On August 13th. You're joining our next UnderDogs Across Borders lineup right here on this stage at Helping Our Music Evolve. And joining you in that endeavor will be Kelsey Muse, who's also in attendance here today. We've got The Healers joining that lineup. We've got our friend Ryan Christopher from Mansion on Mars, and of course, fellow Next to Rise artist Yana Jones, fellow underdog Yana Jones. We've got a stacked lineup. It's August 13th. It's a Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central. Broadcasting live from here. You can watch from anywhere. Of course, if you're in person, by all means, come on out. If you're in Nashville, come out in person. And donate to UnderDogs Across Borders, because that is what's going to help us take this show on the road in greater force. We've got several opportunities we're lining up, including some later this year. And with your help, we can make it bigger and better and bring more of our artists with us. So make sure you support UnderDogs Across Borders, you support Sad Girl, and the rest of the lineup, Kelsey Muse, Yana Jones, The Healers, Ryan Christopher, hosted, of course, by Jazzy the Uncontrolled Goddess.
Thank you.
Run by the team here at Underground Music Collective. I'll actually be out of town, unfortunately, but I will be tuning in. I'll be, on a secret mission in the Northeast. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking now, and we're going to bring the entire lineup from tonight back to the stage. We can take that mic off the stand. Y'all be passing it around, and we're going to go to some questions from the audience, and I'll give everybody a chance to get up here. But in the meantime, whoever wants to answer this question, I'll kick us off.
E.T. is room up. Yeah, we. Okay.
So I'll ask the first question, and that question is for whoever wants to answer it. If there's one lesson that you would go back and teach your younger self that you've learned along your creative journey, what would the most important lesson be?
I would say slow down because it's going to come anyways.
That's dope.
I would say don't worry so much about what other people think because, like, if they could do what you're doing, they would be doing it. So.
Facts.
Both great answers. Save your money. That's something I tell people all the time. Start saving, learn how to invest when you're younger so that when you get older, you can do everything that you want to do and don't have to worry.
I love that. Yeah, it's a very valuable lesson. I myself to answer.
Go for it.
It's not you, it's them.
I'm intrigued. Can you elaborate?
Oh, absolutely. So most of my life, I've been like a loner. I'm still a loner, which I vibe well with myself. But a lot of times I got excluded, and I never could figure out why. Like, is it me? What is the deal? But as I've come into myself and I understand the light that I possess, like, it literally is not me, it's them. So yeah. So, yeah.
Another question here from the stream. What is one goal that you've still yet to accomplish that's a bucket list goal for you as an artist or creative?
I think for me, maybe I want to go on tour. I want to see different cultures and how they might experience my music.
Beautiful.
I'm not really ready to answer. I would say, what's the question again?
What's one goal that you still have for your creative journey? Like your bucket list goal, the number one.
My bucket list. Okay, that's easy. I wanna reach like 10,000, like on my social media. Like it's an easy like goal, I guess.
Touring is a great one. I've done a lot of tours. One thing I haven't done, though, is tour overseas. And definitely a goal of mine to perform somewhere overseas at some point in my career. And I feel like I'm really close to making that happen.
Beautiful. I actually would love to have a residency on a cruise ship doing poetry with a live band. Yeah.
Another question we have here from Mr. Nicholas Soul.
Okay, so I got a question. All right, so you're on a plane, and you're flying on this plane. Out of nowhere, the side door pops open. The plane is coming down, it's crashing. My question to y'all is, what are you doing after this realization of the plane is about to crash? How are you taking this moment in? How are you factoring it in? It's on you now.
I think I would practice gratefulness. I think the way I'm living my life now is always in having that moment in the back of my head. Like, if I were to go now, what would people say about me? How would I feel about the things that I've done and the things that I participate in? And I think right now I'd feel pretty freaking great. So,
Yes.
This is gonna sound crazy, but I feel like I would just jump. I probably would. I feel like I would have a better chance to live if I just jumped out myself instead of letting the instead of letting the plane crash before I hit. I would jump.
I would be very sad because I have 2 young children, and they would have a life without their father. So I would definitely be thinking about them and be sad, but I would also know that I've given them so much love, and I hope that they would remember me forever.
That's beautiful. I'm going to kind of piggyback off of what SADGURL said. I think initially, of course, the human nature be a little panicky, but just be full of gratitude and to know that I am at peace, like where my life is and how I've poured into others and where I am within my spirituality. It's just one of those things about life. But yeah. Interesting question, Nick. Thank you. Got our wheels turning a little bit.
Got another one over here. Who is the one person, now, besides yourself, who has been the most important or instrumental toward your creative journey?
God. And my wife.
It's a tough one because there's been so many influential people, that I've crossed paths with. But, my cousin and I, Manifesto, sort of came up together. My good friend B. Still from Nappy Roots was a big influence for me. Really, my whole neighborhood had some of the greatest artists that I've ever seen. And I think growing up in that neighborhood, I was able to see some really talented, good people that sort of set me on the right path.
Yeah, I would kind of agree with that. I think there's been many people along the way. I would say the first person that maybe has been consequentially the most influential is the person who reached out to me when I first performed my song Crown and literally set up a studio session. He was like, you need to record this song. Here are some beats. I'm going to be here, like be there and do this. And I feel like that was the universe working through someone to be like, hey, this is your path.
Time.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of people already know that it's my father. My father literally is my biggest fan and support system. Anything I've ever recorded before it's ever been put out, my father was the first person to listen, and he's a poet as well. So I'm grateful to be handing down that gift of writing.
I have a question. So how do you guys let failure and success dictate your creative future or like your creative journey? And like, how like they always like have a second path or have a second way. How do you let what's that factor that of failure or success into your path? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You have to learn from your failures. You have to not be afraid to fail. So many people are afraid to fail. So many people give up when they fail. So many people don't take every situation that they're in and analyze and figure out, how can I be better next time? What can I do to learn from this failure and adapt to the next time? And even if it's just a little improvement with each one, but you have to learn from it. You have to not be afraid to fail. I can't tell you how many times I've failed over my career, how many stages I performed on where there's no one in the audience. But you sort of know it's who you are, it's what's in you, and not being afraid to fail really sort of gives you some comfort when you get in those situations.
Yeah, I think from the perspective of science, failure is really just information, right? Like you're learning something about maybe more resources that you need or a different avenue you need to take. But most importantly, failure is practice, right? So just throwing yourself into things like, I always think that everything I do is a failure. So no, seriously, it's part of the, mental health thing. But I've started to embrace that. I'm like, okay, you might think it sucks, but like, whatever, you're going to get better and it's fine. So at this point, I'm like, I'm going to make crappy art if it's crappy, but I'm going to do it because whatever.
One of my favorite things to say is, don't let rejection hold you back. I look at failure similar to rejection. You didn't win because you wasn't as good as something or whatever. So like both of them was saying, I would say, don't let failure, like have you feeling stumped. Like fail and then continue on. And then like what you said about success, I would say, don't get too big-headed in your success. If you ever play like sports or anything like that, like the second you like, I'm winning, you know what I'm saying? Like second you do all of that, like you start missing baskets or whatever. So that would be my advice. Like when you fail, try again. And when you succeed, like just don't get too big-headed.
So I feel like success is different for everyone. We all define our own what success means to us. And in the past, because I've dealt with a lot of rejection, I don't even use the word failure anymore. It's all just experience to me. Like as a creative, if I dwindle off into that space, I have to get back into my creative space because we were all created to create. Like that's our responsibility on earth. So no, it's just all experiences to me. But it took a while to get there, but yeah, so I avoid the whole failure. Like it's just an experience, and it's up to me on how I respond based off of that experience.
I wanted to add one thing about the successes, though. I do feel like you need to celebrate small wins.
Absolutely.
Like, obviously, don't feel invincible or whatever, but you should feel comfortable celebrating yourself, and you should see yourself the way you want others to see you. So definitely don't shy away from being happy about and proud, like what you said, like it wasn't God, it's me. You know what I'm saying? Like those type of moments, like celebrate yourself, recognize how far you've come.
That's a great point, celebrating those wins, because as artists, it sometimes feels like we're never completely satisfied or never happy with what it is that we're doing. So we kind of keep thinking about it and going back to it instead of just celebrating that and sort of going on to the next thing. So that's a great point, celebrating those wins. That's really important.
What's one final word, piece of advice, story that you have for the audience before we depart for the night?
Another one of my favorite things to say is nobody really knows what you need. Nobody really knows what you want. Only you do. So trust yourself when it comes to those things.
I'll say what I say at the end of every one of my radio programs, and it's be yourself and nobody else. And then I'll also echo what you see right here on my shirt, more love, less hate. If we continue to put more love out in the world, it's going to make this world a better place for all of us.
I think the last thing I'm going to say is that you should always be looking to your left and to your right at the people that are around you and in community with you, because their fate is your fate. So if something awful is happening somewhere else, you should care, because if those things are allowed to happen to those people, eventually they will be allowed to happen to you. So I think we should all care about each other in this country and outside of it.
That was beautiful. I actually agree. I'm going to wrap mine up, everything they said, plus just continuing your journey. Like, we're here for a reason, for a purpose. Again, we are here to create, so make sure that you are creating daily.
And I'm doing this one for my brother. Enjoy the journey.
Enjoy the journey.
And I told my nephew I was going to shout them out. So shout out Eli, Liam, and Marcel.
My brother's name, Eli.
Oh, that's my son's name.
Ain't that crazy? I mean, you got to.
I got to do the same thing. Braylon, if you're watching, I love you, and I'll be home soon.
Wait, I forgot my mama and my daddy. Miss Willa, Miss Manis. My wife, evidently, you know, come on up and Safi back there.
Well, this has been amazing and a pleasure to have sat down to have a conversation with each of you. I've learned a little bit more, and so I'm trusting that the audience have learned a little bit more. So this is the Have You Met series with the Underground Music Collective. Again, I am your host, Jazzy the Uncontrolled Goddess. We have Brittany Beech from Frozen Moments, SADGURL, and E.T. Got Soul. All right, thank you all. Until next time.